You're gonna have to be outside.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Collier,
Here.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Venz.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Tennant.
Here. We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's bills total $277,323.23. So moved. Motion's been made. Second. And seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz.
Yes. The consent agenda has passed. Remarks of visitors.
We have done.
We'll go right into bids. Public Works, 8-inch sewer main repair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of City Council, before you this evening, is a request from Water Foreman Chuck Boyer to accept a bid from Jokerst for $27,365 for the replacement of a small section of 8-inch sewer main. This is a section of sewer main that goes under the railroad trestle that was replaced just a few years ago off of 5th Street. Unfortunately, one of the pylons that this railroad drove into the ground to hold that bridge up nicked the side of our sewer pipe. And so we do spend quite a bit of time over there, preventative maintenance, cleaning any kind of debris that catches on that pylon. But we'd like to fix the problem permanently. And that's what this project contemplates. So before you this evening, you've got the lowest best bid from Jokerst. They presented two manners or means by which to replace it. Option 1 and option 2. Of course, we are going to entertain option 1 and hope that when they get out there in the field, that they can simply lay a new section of pipe and work it around the installed improvements under the bridge and get everything to line up. If they cannot, that's what option 2 is, and that is resetting a new manhole. So we've got the two options there and a little bit of money for some permits from the railroad and some engineering if the railroad requires it. And so we'd like your permission, please, for a not to exceed contract with Jokerst for $33,000. I'm happy to answer any questions.
If they nicked it, or they'd have no responsibility?
I believe that my predecessor spent a good deal of time trying to encourage the railroad to step up and make some repairs. And I don't know that he was successful in any way.
He was not.
No.
And by the virtue of his existence, the sewer line is allowed to remain there. But the main crux of that conversation, I believe that Matt Clemens had back in the day with BNSF was, well, the sewer main shouldn't be there in the first place. This is our right of way. That's kind of where the conversation and discussion ended at that point.
Is it worth looking at moving? Or
That's
making it just?
that's why
I
we're,
mean,
yeah,
would this bring us
offset.
in with them, with the railroad? We'll all be like, if they did this, if something happened in the future and we had made this improvement to their specification, then they would have responsibility?
Correct. Yeah, I think the main issue with the existing sewer main is it's not on any record that BNSF has. So when they did do the improvements, obviously we went out and did marking, but they still caught an edge. And it mainly is just a problem where the line backs up because of the obstruction that's there now. And then we have to go in and jet it, get it to flow again. So this will solve that forever. And of course, BNSF will be fully briefed of if they need engineered drawings, we'll provide them.
I just didn't want to put a Band-Aid on something that we're not taking care of.
Is there any other discussion?
Railroad easements are typically 200 feet on either side of the rail. So there are probably houses and roads and a whole bunch of other things that typically fall within railroad easement, but it can vary. And as communities grow, you'll have those incursions, but if they need to, they'll come back and enforce that if they have to. But typically you don't have that happen very often, but it's been known to happen.
Will we still be on the easement?
Because it's
A lot better location.
absolutely.
Is there any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid for Joggers for $33,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yep.
Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes,
Motion has passed. Go ahead with that bid. Tonight on the agenda, we have bill number 4692. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4692, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under Chapter 215 of the City of Festus, Missouri Municipal Code, certifying said special tax bills to the collector of County of Jefferson to be collected with the City of Festus real estate tax bills and establishing an effective date.
Staff report and discussion.
This is the annual delinquent weed cutting bills. You see that in the attachment, the properties that we're asking to have that amount assessed onto their tax bill. We would collect that in the event they pay or if the property ever changes hands.
Is there any other further discussion? If no, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4692 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
aye,
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4692 for the second time?
Bill number 4692, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under Chapter 215 of the City of Festus, Missouri Municipal Code, certifying said special tax bills to the collector of County of Jefferson to be collected with the City of Festus real estate tax bills and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
yes,
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Venz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yep.
Councilman Tenon.
Yes. Bill 4692 has passed. We have Bill 4693 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4693, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials.
Bill 4693 is now open for discussion. Can I have a staff report?
This is the annual requirement from the Missouri Ethics Commission. We do this every year.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4693 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read the bill 4693 for the second time?
Bill number 4693, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes. Bill 4693 has passed. We also have Bill 4694 on the agenda for this evening. Would the clerk please read the bill?
Bill number 4694, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a new engagement letter with Lashley and Bear PC to serve as city attorney and prosecuting attorney, incorporating said engagement letter as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date.
Staff report, please.
Yeah, Brian Malone and I had a conversation here recently. It has been 10 years that Lashley Bear has been representing the city of Festus and has been doing a very good job. I think especially since Brian's been on board, we enjoy working with him and everyone else that Lashley Bear brings to the city. And the fees have not changed in 10 years. So what they're proposing here is the same package of prosecuting attorney and city attorney services with an increase of the monthly retainer fee, the hourly rate on both sides, the PA and the city attorney side. We have a very good working relationship with Lashley Bear, and I think it's in our best interest to continue that and would allow Brian to add anything he felt would be necessary.
Thank you, Greg, and I appreciate the kind words. And as Greg indicated, our proposal is to increase the hourly rate from 165 to 205 per hour. We would also propose leaving the city attorney retainer amount to remain at 1,900 per month. We do propose some changes to the prosecuting attorney retainer to increase that from 2,100 a month to 2,900, and that is really primarily to account for just the changes in the nature of prosecuting attorney work in municipal court, which for Festus, it changed in part because of the transition to circuit court, but also there have been a lot of statewide changes that being a municipal prosecutor now just involves a lot more work outside of the courtroom than it did 10 years ago. And so the changes are meant to kind of reflect that. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that any of you have.
Greg, I have a couple of questions. I'm very happy with the law firm we have. However, working in Hillsborough, I've had several attorneys ask me when the city's going to go out for legal services. They live in the city, two attorneys do. They're interested in bidding on it. So my question is it against our ordinance or our bid policy if we just renew a contract without doing what we
It
just
is
talked
not,
about?
especially when you're dealing with, I think, sensitive material, sensitive and the sense of continuity that you're going to need specifically for legal services. There's a number of pending cases where Lashley Bear represents us. There's a number of, we have an employment negotiation coming up with FOP 15 that they've been part of. So at this point, I feel that the most appropriate action for us to take would be to continue our services with them.
So
No conflict with our ordinances in relation to that.
there you go. You came down to my level. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4694 for the second time in title only.
So moved.
All second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4694 for the second time?
Bill number 4694, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a new engagement letter with Lashley and Bear PC to serve as city attorney and prosecuting attorney, incorporating said engagement letter as part of this ordinance and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tenon,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Bill 4694 has passed. Next thing on the agenda is new business. Budget discussion.
All right, good evening, everyone. So in your packet, you have the budget highlight sheet. I gave you a copy of the green sheet. You have something new, which is the 3-year capital plan that some of you had requested. The capital plan itself and the ARPA schedule. So some of the items of note in there are currently, it's estimated in the budget to get a COLA for everyone except for the city administrator. The COLA is at 5%. And the city administrator is at 3%. So if anybody has anything that they would like to add after I go through that. The health insurance itself is increasing by about 15%. And right now, the city will take on the burden of those expenses so that the employees will not feel the effects of that. We have adjusted the stormwater park split from 50-50 to 65-35 in order to add a full-time park position, which is new this year. We have budgeted a 5% increase in sales tax from the current year. The actual budget, and that includes the public safety transfers will also go up by 5%. You can see a lot of the various capital outlay that the department heads have brought and the stuff that is improved in there. And the other thing is normally we transfer directly into public safety and the capital reserve of 600,000. We're taking 100,000 and transferring that directly back into the police so that their operating shows a positive number, which is key to know. And other than that, you see the street projects listed and the ARPA projects that were approved. So does anyone have any specific questions on everything that was presented or an ARPA discussion?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, we're still gonna have a work session, right? To go over the budget and everything?
Yeah, this is to basically get this in your hands. We can set something up for September. We can make it essentially a long meeting in September if you'd like. We've done that in years past where we all get a chance to go through, but this is just, I wanted to get it in your hands and Stephanie have an opportunity to cover some of the highlights. What we're working on, just to make sure that if we're way off base, if there's something you have questions about, we have plenty of time between now and the end of September for you to go through it. If there's any questions you have, you can get with her or myself or with any of the department heads. And then obviously, I think what we could do is it'll come back on the meeting in September the 12th. And then we would bring it back again, or it's not the 12th, is it the 12th? And then we bring it back again on the 26th. So there'll be 2 more times where you'll have a chance to review and then eventually on the 26th, give final approval to.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Stephanie, can I come by and talk to you like always?
Like always.
Thank you.
Stephanie, could we have printout on those like 3-year plan expenses or expenses rather than revenues? I think it's great what you've done here.
So you want the 3-year capital plan to print out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Stephanie, thank you for
Okay.
your work
No problem.
and we'll look at it, digest it, and then have discussion on the 12th. Any old business?
Just one thing, it's not on the agenda, but I did want to bring it up. As you remember, in the past, we've approved we have given support to 2 different proposals for senior housing developments up in Truman Village. One was the one with Bob Ring, which eventually received those credits from the Missouri Housing Development Corporation. The other one has been the one that Pat Werner has been working on for years. Pat has yielded to Zach Ventura. Zach was the one that applied 2 years ago to put a 40-unit senior development in the same place, basically the same proposal that Pat had put together here probably back in 2018. We have provided Zach with a what they call a zoning letter that basically says that the zoning supports them being able to put this type of senior development there. There's a letter from the mayor supporting the development, and then we just have to make sure that we present it to the council. Chief got a letter today too, but and you're welcome to write him a letter if you like, but we just needed it noted in the minutes that council was aware of the development, that the city has provided the necessary materials, which is the zoning letter and a letter of support for that project to go forward.
Any discussion? All righty, thank you, sir. Councilman Boyer.
I've had a few people come up to me and ask me why a lot of people are not bringing in their trash cans after they've been picked up. They're leaving them on sidewalks and street. Is there some way we can put that in the next newsletter and advise people to bring them in and put them in their proper location? Appreciate it, Barb. The new sidewalks going in on South Mill Street are looking really good. It's going to be nice, get all that finished. Then I suppose then I'll turn to the streets right after that. Yeah. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Collier.
No report at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Weiner.
Just a few things. Stephanie, I really like that 3-year plan that you have in there. I mean, rather than just reacting year by year and not really knowing where we're going, I think it really gives us a good overview and some foresight. So nice job with that. Greg, did you say when we were going to get together for the budget to discuss it?
We can put it on the September 12th agenda and just plan that we'll conduct business that night, and we can keep it under old business during the course of the meeting. If anyone wants to stick around, they can, or we can set a separate date. But I think we could probably get it in, if we give you, say, 60 to 90 minutes, however long it takes. But I think we could probably do it within the constraints of a regular meeting on the 12th, if everyone's agreeable to that.
Sounds fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, what Dave said too about the Mill Street project, that's looking really nice. Rather than people out walking in the streets or not, now we are in the process of having sidewalks there, which is really, really nice and safe. I guess, will the traffic study at Collins and Maine, now that school is getting ready to start, will that be happening pretty soon?
So, Matt, you had a chance to meet with Sean White. We do have a price from CBB to analyze crash data and also provide some concepts, measuring concepts that would allow us then to apply for CMAQ or TAP funding or something like that. So we'll end up with basically a grant package out of that. But before we apply, I think we'll bring that information and data to council so you get a chance to review and comment.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you for that. A question on, like I noticed our health expenses, I think they're going to be 15% higher in the coming year. There's people I know that work at different locations. They'll have like my wife's really good friend. They just had a 7,000 steps a month or a day rather challenge that they did for an X amount of days. Okay, and then if you did that, then you were put in a basket to be able to win these prizes. Okay, another person that I know, they have a like they sign into the Y, for instance, or it could be Planet Fitness or wherever it may be. And if you go there X amount of times, there's a reward for that too. So what I'm wondering is with with that number being so high at 15%, if maybe there's something that we could do to cut that off a little bit. Just to, it's just a question. I don't know if it's feasible or not, but it seems to be something that other corporations are enacting.
I think we've made some strides in that area. The health fair we have every year, the biometric screening that we
Yes.
ask everyone to
Yes.
participate in and provide an incentive for that.
Yes.
I don't have, I think, those challenges are fun. I think people group up in departments or teams and maybe have some fun with it. We're beginning to see some additional incentives just as part of our normal health plan offering that does encourage that type of incentive or behavior. So that's certainly something we can work towards. And as we've talked about in the past, our main issue with the health insurance is we've had just some really big claims in the last 3 years.
Sure.
Until that kind of rolls off, one, it needs to stop happening. So yes, what you're talking about, a little an ounce of prevention versus the pound of cure. But we need to get past some of our big claims before we're going to start to see some ease. And the nice part about where we are is we can actually get premium credits if we operate below a certain threshold as far as expense. But we haven't had that happen yet.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Nothing at this time.
thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Yeah, one thing, I was in a local business recently and they were asking about the property over by the library. If we would ever consider that becoming retail space. And I don't remember where we're at with that property. I guess it's a fair question. It looks like I went by the library the other day. It looks like we're doing some sort of work in there, but
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure.
that's a popular topic. We get probably a question at least once a month about the status of 406 West Main. Structurally, there are some issues with that building. The back third of it, there is a large foundation and wall crack that we're in the process. When we have time, Public Works has been over there and they've been demoing, kind of peeling back the layers in the building so that we can have a contractor or a structural engineer, a civil engineer come in and take a look at it and see if there aren't what we need to do to get that building structurally sound. And then we'd be in a position perhaps to either use it for community space or to use it for, like we have the two adjacent parcels there where or the two adjacent spaces there that we lease out, the Counseling Solutions and then Dr. Fassler, essentially we're their landlord there with those two other spaces.
Right. And I think it's a real need for community space, especially in the area of our youth. So keep us abreast, and that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman Vance.
Same on that Mill Street. I'm glad to see that coming along. That's really, that it will be nice when the day that is all said and done. And it looked like the bike ride turned out to be pretty good for the Sunday.
Yes.
Looked like, I didn't attend it, but I was by it a lot, seen people out and about. So that looked like that. The weather was perfect. So I'm glad to see that. A lot of people traveling through our town and through all the towns really. So, but other than that, that's it, sir.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any bikes next?
No, I didn't have any bikes past me. But when I turned on the Mississippi, made a right turn on Mississippi, I sat there and watched everybody go by, and there was a lot of bikes, a lot of participants.
Yeah, it was good.
There wasn't a parking space available on the south side in behind the buildings.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
That was nice.
They had a good time. Councilman Tenen.
Well, that's what I was gonna talk about, was bicycle ride, but he stole
Sorry.
my glory. But no, I was down there for a while, and there's a lot of people and a lot of people having fun, and I think it's a really great event, and
pulls in a lot of people, so hopefully next year we can do the same thing.
Yes,
That's all I got.
thank you, sir. Councilman Cook.
Mark, nice to see you. Glad you're on the mend. Like, glad to have you back. This is for the council. If I'm not mistaken, the mayor may be out for Twin City Days and that black Mustang looked really good leading the parade. So I was thinking the black Mustang should be available for the council to use for Twin City Days. I mean, it looked really good and I thought, you know, we could come up with a rotation there and make it work out very well. I was thinking that, yeah, and I mean, yeah, we'll use the signs and, you know, magnets. We don't scratch car or anything, but yeah, I just, you know, just thought I'd run that by the mayor real quick.
What, have you been smoking something? I've had that car for about a year and a half now and I have 1,700 miles on it. That's it.
Well, I'm offered to assist. I mean, the council would love to help out for Twin City Days. It looks really good. And you have set the precedence for that thing leads most of our activities and I hate to have it not here. So I'm willing to drive it if you will, if you need me to. That's all I have, sir.
I'll entertain that, but don't hold your breath. We did have a good bike ride this weekend. It was a real good turnout. There was a lot of people from out of town, lots of people from out of town. And that's fine, you know, they spend their money here. That's great, you know. So it turned out real well and I'm sure we'll have another one next year.
Perfect day, for sure.
Yep. So that's all I have. So at this point, I would like to entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Missouri law for the purpose of dealing with matters relating to RSMO 610.021, 2 real estate and 3 personnel. I'll need a motion.
So be it.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Ware.
Motion passes. We'll take a 5-minute break and then go into closed session.
That's never gonna happen, Mike.